Welcome to Coffee and Popcorn, where we bring you the most striking stories from around the world. In today's story, a young woman discovers that her partner's having an affair. He even has the audacity to bring his affair partner into their home. Let's see how she deals with this.
In May of 2018, I started dating my high school sweetheart. I was 24 and he was 27. We'll call him Calvin for today. I moved in with Calvin quite fast because he got an honorable discharge from the Marines due to medical reasons. I moved out of my grandmother's house to be with him in Chase City, roughly 5 hours away from family and friends. Calvin was an only child, and even though he was adopted, his mother gave him her parents' house after they passed. So it was me, Calvin, our 4-year-old son, and roughly 87 acres of land. The property has 2 ponds, a long driveway, trees, wildlife, and enough space to start a new life and family, or so I thought. The house was a single-story building with 3 bedrooms. There was a section of the house called the trophy room. Calvin's grandfather used to be a big-time hunter. This room had animals mounted all over the place and boxes filled with bullets. This room also had a door that could be locked for child safety reasons. There was a 2-way garage connected to the washer and dryer room, and it led to a separate part of the house we called the apartment. You'll want to remember that for this story. The apartment had its own small kitchen and bathroom, but there was only one way in and out, a sliding patio door leading to the 2-way garage. Behind the house, there was a huge barn where we kept all the stuff we needed to keep the house clean. This was a new start for us. We were living in the middle of nowhere, in a small town where everyone knew each other. 2 years go by, and our relationship has had its ups and downs. I'd caught Calvin cheating on me before, but this one topped the cake. I just left my job working for Tractor Supply because our work hours were conflicting. To make things easier, I decided to be a stay-at-home mom, taking care of the animals and keeping the house clean. You know, normal mom and girlfriend stuff. We had 19 chickens, 8 ducks, 5 cats, and a ball python. Around this time, Calvin decided that he wanted to be a firefighter. This was around March 2020. He had to go to a meeting at 4:30 in the afternoon, and he got home at around 7 in the evening. We lived really close to town. It was only 5 to 10 minutes away, which is where the firehouse is. With me still having trust issues, Calvin gave me his captain's phone number so I could contact him if I couldn't reach him. The meeting was only supposed to last an hour, but by the time Calvin got home it was dark outside, and for some reason, he had the biggest smile on his face. He started a conversation with me that made me all happy, giddy, and chatty. While we were talking, he asked me to help him with a project. As I was playing Animal Crossing, helping him out on this project, I noticed him exit through the side door, making his way towards the garage to do something. 5 minutes go by, and he comes back into the house, leaving the light on in the garage and laundry room. I thought it was weird because he tends to keep the lights off so we don't run up a super high bill. I suddenly remembered that I had to get the animals more food, so I asked if I could use the car to go to Tractor Supply. When I got in the car, I noticed a box in the back seat. I'm always leaving stuff in the car, so I thought it was mine, and the box had a few things in it that didn't look like they belonged to Calvin. The store was a 30-minute drive away. That's 30 minutes there and 30 minutes back. As I was pulling up to the house, I noticed that the front door was wide open. The porch light was on too, so were all the lights in the living room, the kitchen light, and both sides of the 2-way garage were open. Those lights were also turned on. I entered the house and asked Calvin to get the food out of the car for me because the bags were quite heavy. I asked him, "Why are all the lights on?" He said that someone's waiting for a friend to pick them up. I assumed it was our roommate's friend. I guess I forgot to mention that we were renting the apartment out to a friend. We'll call him Dylan. The thing is, Dylan and his girlfriend had gone out with her 3 kids, so I was confused as to who this friend was. I didn't really think much of it beyond that, though. I went out to feed the animals and did a few chores around the house. I decided to take a shower and freshen up so I could relax for the rest of the night. After I got dressed and dried my hair, I opened the bedroom door and walked into the hallway, closing the door behind me. To my surprise, I see a small skinny girl exit the guest bathroom. The hallway light wasn't on, so I couldn't really see her, but as I got closer, she said, "I like your nose ring." I replied, "Thanks." I took a seat on the sofa and noticed Calvin and this girl making eye contact as she made her way towards the garage. I asked Calvin about who she was, and he said, "Yeah, that's Mary. She's waiting for Dylan's best friend to pick her up. I don't really know what she's doing." I shrugged it off. The very next day, me and Calvin spent the day together because he was off work. We decided to watch a movie and cuddle on the sofa. When he fell asleep, I noticed that he hid his phone between the cushion lying between us. I got up to use the bathroom, leaving him alone on the couch, and I waited for about 20 minutes before I put my plan into action. I crawled on the floor like a secret agent and sneakily took his phone. I'm very smart when it comes to phones and computers, and I noticed that he had Verizon. If you download the Verizon Messenger app on your phone, you can see all the messages on someone else's phone, even if they've been deleted. Anyway, I downloaded the app and put his number in, which sent him a verification number that I had to use if I wanted to see his messages. I then deleted the verification text off his phone so he wouldn't suspect anything, then put the phone back where he hid it. Now, remember when I went out to get food for the animals and said Calvin's meeting was going on for way longer than it should have? The reason he took so long to come home was because he went to pick Mary up so he could bring her back with him. When he got back from his meeting, he made her get out of the car and go around to the back of the house to wait for him. If you haven't already guessed, the stuff in the back seat was hers. While I was out getting food for the animals, he let her in and they had sex in our roommate's bed. I confronted Calvin, showing him the proof as he awoke from his nap. He was confused, and I explained everything that I found out, and like most cheaters do, he lied to my face. I almost lost my cool and pulled a knife out on him, but at that point, I'd already lost faith in him. I packed all my stuff so I could leave, but before he dropped me home, we talked and decided to take a break. Once we were done talking, he dropped me off so I could spend the week with my mom. We swapped phones, which was his way of proving to me that he wouldn't talk to this girl anymore. Him being dumb as hell, forgot that I had his phone, so even if the password for his Snapchat or any of his other social media accounts changed, I could still see what he was doing. As I looked at his Snapchat, I saw that he unblocked her. I couldn't believe it. She was staying the night at our house, cuddling with my cats in my bed. She sent pictures to him, so I pretended to be Calvin and asked if she was still there. She said she was. I called Dylan's girlfriend and asked her to go over to the house to see if anyone was there. At first, she said she didn't see anyone, but then she told me that Mary was at the house. I messaged her, threatening to call the police, so she quickly left the house. I was sad. I cried. I was angry. He's the worst of the worst. To this day, Calvin's single and none of his friends talk to him because of what he did to me. He always tries to text me, pretending to be my friend because he can't find anyone better. Regarding what happened to me, well, I'm in an amazing relationship with someone who respects me and my son. I have a job, my own place, and a car. Oh, I'm also planning on getting married next year.
Well, I have nothing more to add. OP did great and was able to move on from the cheater. I wish her and her new partner the best for the future. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Coffee and Popcorn, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.